Hi, how you doing today? I'm Kirk, New York City plumber, been doing this for 30 years. Want to try to help you with something that a lot of people are calling us about, and it's probably something simple. We can help you with it, or sometimes you can even do it yourself. And that's dirty brown water that's coming out of your faucet. Most of the time, and this you'll have to decide on your own, it's coming out of the hot water side of the faucet. So this here is a storage tank where the hot water is made. So the temperature rises up on that storage tank, and that's usually where we see it dropping out. And then it'll wind up in the hot water lines through the building and in the return lines. So it's a big deal to get it flushed out of there so it doesn't continue to build up. And if you get it flushed out and you do this on a periodic basis, sometimes you can take care of it without having to do filtration, because filtration gets really expensive. To get that stuff out on the cold water side, you almost have to go down to 2-3 microns, and you'd be spending a ton of money. On the hot water side, you can get it, but it still costs a lot to do it. Whereas what we found in most of the buildings is if we flush out the lines, run the water, not even having to do chemicals. You can, if you want to put vinegar, or, some people are doing chlorine right now, but you have to do that with a professional so nothing happens bad to you. But you can go ahead and get that where it's out of there. And if you just flush it out, most of the time it won't occur. Because nobody likes taking a brown, dirty shower. You feel dirtier than when you got in. So when those slugs come out, it's pretty rough. So I'm going to give you the steps to do that. And I'll give you a little bit of a drawing so you can kind of see what the line looks like and a little video of how the system is usually made, and then where you can put these drains, and I'll show you an example, real world example of where it is and how to do it. And if it helps you, great. If not, hey, call us, and maybe I don't have your system down pat and it's a little bit different, and we can help you with that. You have a great day. This particular system that we're looking at has a very large storage tank, so it's pretty big. It does have ways that you can clean the tank and actually get in there. But for the average homeowner, we have a small storage tank that usually has a drain on it, so you can flush it out and let the water out. The biggest thing people make mistakes on is they don't shut off the system and get it where it drains out before they flush it out. Because if you just open and close this valve, I've got pressure in this vessel, and it's not going to move that dirt around that's probably sitting at the bottom of the tank or sitting at the bottom of the return line like we see over here. So the first thing I would do is I would come in, I would go ahead and I would close the cold water off to my heater. I would shut the heater off. I would go ahead and go down to the lowest floor and drain everything out of the building. Then I can go ahead and open up, or if I don't have one, I would get one installed. I can open up a drain that will go to a floor drain off of my return line. So the next thing before you get all that shut down is you're going to come back to your house pumps, or your return pumps, and you're going to shut each one of those off, because we don't want to run them dry. We want to make sure that the return lines are shut off and there's nothing there, nothing going through them. And as long as you've got a spot to drain that, which we would put before the pumps, because we don't want to flush it through, you can close the valve going to the pumps, get it where it's closed. Then you would go ahead and you would open up the drain valve that's here. That would be on that return. So this is my return coming back before my circulating pump. You would open up this valve. I would wait for the water to stop so that I don't have any water coming out. Then I would go ahead, open my cold water going into the system a little bit faster than you're comfortable with, just so we get it to flush around and turbulate inside that pipe. And then all of that dirty water is going to come out. Now, it usually works better when the boiler room's in the basement. It's a little bit harder to do it when the boiler room's on the roof, but you're going to have to go downstairs when it's on the roof and drain it from the lowest point, get everything drained out, and then turn that on a little bit faster than you're comfortable with, and get it where I get that dirty water coming out and going into the drain. And if I do that once a month, and then I turn the system back on, nice and easy, I close my valves, I fill the system, I go ahead and open my cold water to the system, and then I make sure that my valves to my pumps are on, and then I turn my switches on for my pumps so that they can run, and then all of a sudden everything's circulating again. You want to make sure that you mention to everybody in the building not to use the water while you're doing that, because occasionally if somebody's washing that white dress or something by that faucet, you might have an issue where it could go ahead and give you a problem. But the biggest thing is turn the boiler off, get it where you drain out from the boiler side itself, or the hot water heater or the heat exchanger, depending on what you have. Get that valve on that return line, flush it out, but you do have to shut down the system completely, drain it out, and then fill it up a little bit faster than you're comfortable with, and all of a sudden all that stuff goes out, and you get most of it out of the system.